Hello and welcome to DisasterScope. On August 10, 2025, China was hit by the most severe extreme weather event in recent years. A massive rain belt stretched across the entire country, leaving many regions submerged in floods and facing dangerous conditions. From the western mountains to the coastal provinces, emergency responses were raised repeatedly as destruction mounted and casualties grew. In the face of such disasters, we must learn how to protect ourselves and our families. Click subscribe to stay informed on the latest real developments from China, and Speech Balloon join the discussion in the comments below. In just a matter of days, the northwest province of Gansu had yet to recover from the aftermath of torrential rains and flash floods, when the southwest province of Sichuan was engulfed in floodwaters, and the southeastern province of Zhejiang braced for the approach of Typhoon Yueliu, a Category 12 superstorm. From the mountain ranges of the west to the coastal plains, from the Lus Plateau to the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River, billions of people are being directly or indirectly affected by relentless downpours and severe convective weather. What's even more concerning is that this rain shows no sign of stopping. On the morning of August 10th, the skies over northern China unveiled a rare and striking sight. A massive wall of black clouds silently stretched across the nation's expanse. It cut through the sky like a deep scar, running almost parallel to the mighty Yangtze River. This was no ordinary cloud formation, but a colossal rain belt carrying billions of tons of water vapor, lingering stubbornly over the Yangtze River basin. At first, it appeared as a thin, pale gray veil, giving a false sense of calm. But within an hour, the daylight dimmed, humidity surged sharply, and sheets of rain lashed the land like countless liquid whips, striking rooftops, fields, and roads with relentless force. The rainfall was far from uniform. In some areas, only a light drizzle seemed to test the ground, while in others, the sky appeared torn open, unleashing torrents and blinding white columns that hammered valleys and streets, roaring with deafening thunder. Meteorologists warned that such a rainfall pattern could easily trigger flash floods and landslides in mountainous areas, turning once peaceful villages into deadly traps within moments. Along the western edge of the Sichuan basin, rain poured down as if an immense lake had been emptied from the sky. River levels rose rapidly, and low-lying areas were soon submerged. In southern Chongqing, streets quickly filled with water, forcing vehicles to drive through deep pools, and pedestrians to wade forward with water up to their knees. In central and western Hubei, low rooftops floated atop floodwaters, erasing the boundary between homes and rivers. In central Hunan, concrete roads, once thought unshakable, vanished beneath the torrents. Even the southern tip of the Shandong Peninsula, accustomed to sea winds and humid air, was not spared. Strong winds carried by the rain belt lashed coastal buildings, rain and gusts striking with unrelenting force. Meteorologists noted that this was not the work of a single weather system, but the result of a coordinated assault between a southwest vortex and a mass of cold northern air. This combination would prolong the rainfall, increase its intensity, and bring with it thunderstorms, high winds, and other extreme phenomena. As the downpour intensified, China's State Flood Control and Drought Relief Headquarters initiated a Level 4 flood emergency response for Sichuan on the morning of August 10th. But within just a few hours, as rainfall totals far exceeded forecasts, the alert level was abruptly raised to Level 2. At the same time, the China Meteorological Administration issued a yellow heavy rain warning for Chongqing. Chongqing's alert system was running almost non-stop. In the morning, a yellow thunderstorm warning was issued. By the afternoon, it was upgraded to a level 2 flood emergency response. Just a few hours later, it was raised again to a special severe thunderstorm disaster alert. Meteorologists forecast that between the night of August 10th and the 12th, rainfall in many parts of Chongqing could reach 350 millimeters. To put that into perspective, just 100 millimeters is enough to turn streets into rivers. At 350 millimeters, the city's drainage systems would be pushed to their absolute limits. At the same time, weather maps showed something even more alarming. Gusts of wind up to force 10, intense lightning, and violent storms converging on the region. Bridges could be swept away at any moment, mountain passes could be buried under mud and rock, and riverside recreation areas had effectively become death traps. Faced with these threats, local authorities acted decisively, evacuating residents from low-lying areas, inspecting every building near vulnerable hillsides, closing off high-risk tourist sites and river beaches, and prioritizing the relocation of the elderly, children, the sick, and pregnant women. Rescue forces were also quickly deployed. Teams equipped with excavators, rubber boats, and specialized rescue vehicles were dispatched to danger zones, ready to plunge into emergency operations at a moment's notice. While Sichuan, Chongqing, and Zhejiang faced the threat of intense rainfall, in the northwest, Gansu was still reeling from a disaster just days earlier. At 6 p.m. on August 7th, torrential rain struck Yuzhong County. In the Xinglong mountain area, rainfall reached 220 millimeters in just a few hours, transforming a mountain creek only a few meters wide into a raging torrent hundreds of meters across. The flood swallowed houses, farmland, and lives along its path. Mabatang village, nestled at the foot of the mountain, was utterly destroyed. The neat rows of homes that once lined the slope were gone, buried under thick mud and broken wooden beams. Mr. Wang, a local resident, still recalls the terror of that night. He had been out delivering goods when the rain suddenly turned violent, the sheets of water nearly flipping over his small motorcycle. For 24 hours he was cut off from his family, including his 2-month-old baby, dialing home again and again, only to hear the cold, endless tone of an unanswered call. It wasn't until the next morning that he learned his family was safe. Their home sat on higher ground, but the entire village had lost power, water, and all contact with the outside world. The journey home was a survival trial. Provincial Road 104 had been washed away, forcing him to detour along mountain paths, cross landslide zones, and finally hitch a ride on an excavator to make it across thigh-deep mud. When he arrived, half the village was gone. Homes along the creek had been erased by the flood, the ground gouged into massive pits filled with thick sludge. Some residents were swept away in their sleep, with no chance to react. Preliminary statistics show that flash floods in the Yuxiang region destroyed 51 roads, including national highways, provincial roads, bridges, and village lanes. A total of 9,828 people were forced to evacuate, 15 were confirmed dead, 28 remain missing, and dozens were injured. Rescue teams have been working around the clock, clearing blocked roads, delivering relief supplies, and searching for those still unaccounted for. But with landslides continuing to crash down, every step toward the victims is a gamble with death. Scenes from the disaster zone are deeply unsettling. A riverbed once 5 meters wide now stretches hundreds of meters across, bridges snapped like twigs, and cornfields and rice paddies erased without a trace. Survivors huddle in makeshift tents on the mountainsides, their eyes bloodshot from crying and sleepless nights. The sounds of weeping mingle with the roar of excavators, and the blare of loudspeakers calling out the names of the missing, together forming a heartbreaking symphony over the mountains.
哎呀，
刚刚下车吧，下车。
你瞧那个车上还有人呢，你看看。
完了。
See this moment, China is enduring a double assault from nature. In the west and central regions, a massive rain belt threatens to submerge vast stretches of land. In the northwest, Gansu is still struggling to clear the devastating aftermath of flash floods. Offshore, the path of Typhoon Yueliu remains uncertain, and any shift in its course could plunge another region into sudden disaster. Meteorologists warn that the coming days will be critical. The location of the heaviest rainfall and the track of the typhoon will determine the extent of the disaster and the challenges for rescue operations. But one thing is certain: no one knows where the next catastrophic downpour will strike, or how many more lives it will claim. Thank you for watching DisasterScope. If you found this episode helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future disaster reports. Some footage shown is for illustration purposes only and does not depict the actual scene. We'll see you in the next episode. Stay tuned and stay safe.